Bienvenidos, Fright fans, and welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Jaime and Fuego.
And I'm Jaime and Fuego.
Yes, Jaime and Jaime. Together, they may... I don't even know. Anyway, guys, we are here to do a special review because we're trying to catch up on the 2018 horror films that kind of slipped under the radar, that we were like, that looks okay. You know, maybe we just need to check it out to see if it was worthwhile or not, as we're doing our end-of-the-year compilations. We're talking Winchester today. Directed by the Spierig brothers, who did Undead, which I quite liked, Daywalkers, or Daybreakers, I should say, which I loved. I also did Jigsaw last year. I didn't see it, but I heard mixed reactions. You saw that, right?
And I'm Jaime and Fuego.
Yes, you are. I'm getting the vibe that Cecil liked Truth or Dare better than Winchester.
No, I didn't. No, I'm just messing around.
Yeah.
I did enjoy this movie.
It was solid. It wasn't great or anything.
It wasn't great. Nothing to write home about, but it was better than I got the impression a lot of people liked. Again, when it came out, I feel like we were hearing a lot of negativity about it, that it was a big disappointment.
I heard mixed reactions. I was really wondering how far they could push with PG-13, and I felt like actually, especially with some of the look of some of these ghosts and stuff in the Winchester mansion, I thought they looked pretty damn good, and the acting from the two leads I thought was very strong from both Jason Clarke, who's going to be in the Pet Sematary remake, and then obviously, oh goodness, what is her name? The British lady who plays our lead. Is it Helen Mirren? God, I can't.
Yeah, Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren. Okay, yeah. She's great as she's basically the widow of the guy who started the Winchester rifle company, and she is under the impression that she's being haunted by the spirits of all the people killed by these Winchester rifles that her husband helped manufacture. And Jason Clarke's character, and we're just going to briefly throw a story out, he shows up after being sent by the other shareholders in the Winchester company to assess her sanity so the rest of the board can kind of take control and push her out. And this is all based on true events. And, you know, Ms. Winchester was, Mrs. Winchester, real lady who did, in fact, really do all these constant alterations to this property. You can go and tour the place. Ironically, you met my buddy Jacoby, who is no longer in Arizona, but he had this idea. He wanted to turn this into a horror film since we were in high school. He was like fascinated by the Winchester mansion and thought it would make a great horror movie. Didn't make a great horror movie, but I felt like it made a good one, and I feel like there's enough just real-life creepy to the place and its history that they didn't do it a total disservice. They just didn't absolutely wow me with it.
I agree, and it's a period piece, which is
a
barrier for entry for me. But I didn't mind it as a period piece. It was actually, it acquitted itself just fine. There were some tropey scares, but, you know, they were scares I was happy to receive, and let me just say this, I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end or anything, but let's just say I wasn't ultimately disappointed, or I didn't ultimately feel misdirected. I was happy to see the way things played out.
Same,
you know
actually.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times that it could be, well, the whole reason he's sent there is, is she crazy?
Yeah.
You know, is she still fit to run this mansion, because she's constantly adding rooms and the place is under construction 24/7.
Yep.
So the bank behind the funding don't know if she is of all of her. They don't know if she has all the cans in her six pack. You know what I mean? And so that's why they send this sort of appraiser, as it were, and
yet he has kind of a dark history himself. He's like dealing with some substance abuse. He's major depression since the death of his wife, and I mean,
which is really cool. The way they wove his backstory and everything.
Yeah, I actually thought that was interesting. And acting, segueing into that once again, the two leads are great. Everybody else is solid enough. I mean, I'm trying to remember if that was Winchester's sister or daughter or a niece or something, but her son becomes kind of a pawn in the schemes of these different spirits and stuff that are tormenting the house. And I thought she was good as well as a supporting player. There's not really like an extensive cast or anything. No. It's really just this small little circle doing some heavy lifting. And I thought Clarke was really good in this, actually. He's an actor that I'll watch at this point in pretty much anything, whether back to Zero Dark 30. I'm very excited about seeing him in Pet Sematary. I didn't even think he was terrible in Terminator Jimmy Smith or whatever.
He was not a great John Connor.
Yeah, he's okay. But I
leave that one off the list myself.
Okay. But he had an interesting vulnerability, but yet masculinity, I guess, in the same way. Like he seemed like kind of, you're looking all weird at the camera and stuff.
No,
he had a toughness.
Like his masculinity.
No, he had a toughness and an edge, but yet he also had, and you could tell he was like a damaged, broken person with some vulnerability, and just the way he was dealing. I mean, when he's like sipping on the poison and all that different stuff, just trying to get high. I mean, I don't know. The movie dealt with more themes from his character standpoint than I expected, and I really liked his performance a lot. Helen Mirren, she plays the whole mysterious coming out in the veil, very stoic and stuff very well. He kind of peels the layers away a little bit after he helps out where the son is in danger in that one particular point, and that's where she starts to kind of appreciate him more and think he's not so much of a bad guy, because initially, Mirren is her Winchester lady is very cold with him, and, I don't know, just the way they kind of had an arc together of like just understanding each other's loss, because they both lost people they cared about. And I don't know, I thought both of the leads, like the acting was really good, even if the script turned into more of a by the books haunted house at times. I thought their performances were what really saved the film for me in a lot of ways.
I agree with you. They were super strong. Everyone else did just fine. They acquitted themselves just fine as far as acting goes.
The boy was kind of...
and we did see a familiar face from the horror genre. He plays one of the construction workers with giant mutton chops, and he was in 100 Bloody Acres, and he's one of the two ghost hunters in the Insidious movies.
Yeah, I thought I recognized Homie. Yeah.
That voice is unmistakable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the James Earl Jones of Australians.
Yeah, he is another Australian, just like Clark is an Australian.
He's an Aussie.
Yeah, Aussie. Anyway,
so
effects, man. I mean,
good.
I was just and the set design was really
good.
Design and the way they shot this house was great. I love the scene early on where he's going up the stairs and they're like circle, kind of like just a little up, but yet still circular and stuff. And Clark's character's like just looking around.
He's like, what is this for? Like she's an old woman.
She has arthritis.
She can't step up quite as high.
Yeah, the design of the house is crazy and very well done, and the Spierig brothers shot it very well. Despite maybe some of the script shortcomings of something like a Jigsaw or a few of the other things that they've done. I actually was not I didn't love Undead. I felt like the script was maybe one of the things that one suffered from a little bit. But visually, I think with Daybreakers, those guys really showed that
Daybreakers is amazing.
It's a killer.
It's one of my favorite vampire movies.
I own it on Blu-ray. It's great. It's a different take on it. It's very visually striking and appealing. And this film, it looks great. The shot selection is awesome. The set design of the house, like I said, and even back to the ghosts, especially where you get like the main like soldier type ghost without spoiling anything. I loved the look of him in that final confrontation-y kind of thing. I thought it was really dope. Sometimes there's some poor CGI with like floating fake guns and stuff that kind of took me out a little bit, but all of the makeup and the look of the spirits I thought was really, really good, especially for PG-13. They looked on par with like some of the James Wan and some of the Blumhouse stuff for pushing the limits of PG-13 with the scare level and stuff. So
I just it felt a little by the numbersy for me a lot of the way through it, but I still really enjoy it. I think the set design and the two leads went a long way for me in this one.
Yeah, it elevated this from being...
And there were some quality scares too. When Clark is looking down a stairs into the basement, and that moment happened, I was like, that shouldn't have scared me. We've seen that dozens of times, and yet it was still effective.
Yeah, so this could have easily been absolute garbage, and it wasn't. Unfortunately, I still think with the mythology and the history behind it, it could have been a lot better. It could still be better,
yeah. Same with Slenderman, man. Slenderman, I felt
which I still haven't watched.
I felt like that just fell under the same problem. I mean, it could have been
good, but not great.
Could have not even really good. It's just it could have if they had really pushed it, it could have been so much better than it ended up being. It just was a disappointment otherwise. Well,
this is one that if you see it pop up on a streaming service or something, I would definitely say take the hour and 40 minutes or whatever it is to check it out, and it's to take a play from your book, like you said on the last review. It's not a waste of your time. I actually think if you dig horror movies and you like haunting sorts of things, this is...
It's worth a watch, at least. So, why don't you guys let us know in the comments down below if you have seen Winchester, what did you think? If you have not seen it, does this review sway you one way or another? I hope it would sway you to at least give it a try. I mean, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, why don't you let us know in the comments down below how you're feeling. While you're down there, click the link to our Patreon if you want to support the channel that way. You can actually request things for us to review that way. We greatly appreciate it if you do.
Nothing
Until next time, though. No, nothing pre-1973. Until that's not true. I just would force you guys to do it. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been having fun.
And remember, stay scared.